Okay, Coach Chat 21. We're going to talk about some nutrition stuff with Shania again this morning. So, nutrition and performance. We got a few comments that Shania's had on Instagram from people asking some questions. We're just going to go over a few of those questions. I think one of the biggest things is what happens with powerlifters is underfueling and not understanding the differences that the consequences that underfueling can have as an accumulative effect on your training. Do you just want to go over that a little bit and what you believe happens, or some of the things that people do with their nutrition that may make them not perform through the back end of the week as well as they should be?
Yeah, for sure. So I guess like anything in life, consistency is like key. So nutrition is the exact same thing. One of the most common things is people will underfuel, whether it's on a weekend or they'll underfuel on easier training days, and then it comes to this day towards the end of the week, which is like, I guess more commonly than not, a Saturday, because that's how we kind of look to program. That's when the biggest sessions are, or like whenever it is that you have either an SBD day, and we almost try and catch up on fuel and we catch up on eating on that day because we think that it's going to change the result of what's happened earlier on in the week.
Already happened.
Yeah, it's already happened. You can't really change it. Like eating more on that one session or during that session is not going to change you feeling weak or like not as strong as what you could. That's probably like the biggest one. Or it's the common like, okay, I'm going to structure someone's nutrition as a high and low fueling days based off like whether they train or they don't train. Yeah,
and I'll just kind of preface this a little bit by saying each nutrition coach has their ways that they do it. It doesn't mean that it's wrong or right. Yeah. You know, we have our ways we program with people, but we're just going to come from the way that we prefer to do it here. It doesn't mean if your coach does it high and low days that is shit. That's just the way that they do it.
Yeah, for sure. I think like, and again, the way that I work as a nutrition coach is within a calorie range that I give my clients, that is about a 200 calorie range. So yes, there is some form of high or low days happening depending on someone's hunger levels, but it's when it's like a significant difference or range of calories that somebody's eating, that's when it has an effect on our training days.
What have you found is like a pro for giving a range?
Just flexibility in how somebody feels.
Yeah.
So, like, yes, the more we train or the harder our sessions are, the hungrier we're gonna get.
Yeah.
It does like increase your appetite.
Yeah.
And you are naturally gonna want to eat more because you're training for a longer period of time, or you're training at a higher intensity.
Yeah.
So naturally we will want to eat a little bit more, but then on the easier training days, you might not feel as hungry, so you eat that little bit less.
Yeah.
Or it takes into account if you're going out and socializing, if you're like, you know what, I literally just want to have a piece of chocolate, and if that throws me over a little bit, then that puts me at the higher end of my range, and cool, that's fine.
Yeah.
So it just allows for more flexibility, and the biggest thing, I think I've said it a few times in these podcasts, is just people understanding their own trends and their own behaviors with how they eat and how they structure it.
Yes, I think one of the biggest things that's changed with coaching in the last year is the athlete doesn't need to fit into a regime. We fit our regime around the athlete's habits.
Yep.
So like if the athlete, works late on a Wednesday night, you're probably not going to give him an SBD day on a Thursday.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to give them a low calorie day on a Thursday.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that, like, I think where nutrition and programming and training goes hand in hand is like, externals we can't control. Like we can, but we can't. You know what I mean? Like if you've got family and you've got kids, or you're a shift worker and stuff like that, you're gonna have days where you're tired. We do know that increased tiredness, it leads to feeling hungry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, increased tiredness, lack of sleep, or if there's variables where, I guess the biggest one would be for anyone in comp prep right now, like the juniors, masters, like sleep does decrease as your fatigue levels get higher, but it does then mean that like your hunger levels are probably going to increase within that as well.
Yeah.
We're not spending as much time in a fasted state recovering properly, so naturally we're going to want to eat that little bit more. So it's just what happens, and it's a lot of people aren't, I guess, aware of these behaviors because they're just not things that they look out for.
Do it though.
Yeah.
Like I eat fuck all on the weekends, but then I get to Monday and Tuesday and I'm like, I'm hungry.
That's
just
really
me.
the biggest thing.
It's just me.
Yeah,
like,
people who Monday to Friday, it's like, okay, we're structured, we're at work from this hour to this hour. You know, we're a society that's built around time. Like, you know, you go to school, you have lunch at this time. You go to uni, you have classes at this time. Work, every time that you see a client, it's on the hour. So it's like, how we work as humans is around time. So it's like when Monday to Friday is so structured, you plan it out to be structured. So you plan your food out, you plan your training and your life out to be structured. But then as soon as it comes to a weekend, it's like, oh, well, I'm free now. I can do whatever I want. And then like what we kind of created, people just don't eat. People forget to eat. Like it's, or, you know, like you don't wake up until, or get out of bed until 8, 9 a.m. Whereas for you, you'd be at work already for 2 hours. So it's like you're not eating then until 2-3 hours later. So it's your schedule or your structure sort of changes.
So training on the weekend on a Sunday for me would be a terrible idea. And I think like it's normal to have those habits, but just recognizing that those habits are real are going to help you as an athlete. Do you know what I mean? Like for me as a coach, I can see straight away when my athletes are underfueling, and it's not necessarily because they're not eating, they're just not eating at the right times to fuel the next few days of training.
Exactly. That's another thing that a lot of people don't look to do is like the timing of our meals around when we train. So
I'm shit at it,
people don't think about it. Like if you're somebody that has to train really early in the morning, it's like, are you thinking about what you're eating the night before in terms of then going to sleep being fasted, and then are you training fasted, or are you training having waking up early enough that you can have like a banana or something easy to eat to then fuel for that? Or you know, it's the macronutrient split that we can look to structure. That's something that I work a lot with like the powerlifters. That's the biggest difference between, I guess, like general population and like powerlifting. Coaching with nutrition is what they eat and when they eat it. So for myself or for anyone that trains around that lunchtime period, we want to prioritize our fats more in the morning and night, but then we want to prioritize a lot of protein and carbs, either like that mid-morning snack, that lunchtime, that afternoon snack, because that's when we need it. So we need it for like that fuel prior to training, during training, and then like the recovery side of things. And then the fat keeps you full for a little bit longer in the morning, and then at night time when you go to bed.
Do you have any tips for the people that hate tracking or find tracking really overwhelming like me?
If you have tracked before, you'll have some form of understanding of it. So being able to create a lifestyle that's like intuitively eating. So knowing what your body feels good on. So if you find foods that your body feels really fueled on and it sits really well in the tummy, and you know, you don't get upset, you don't feel bloated, it gives you energy, you don't feel heavy or lethargic after eating it, stick to what you know. But the easiest way to do it is just plan to have some form of protein, carb or fat every meal. That's the easiest way. So I will sometimes plan my meals around a protein source. So I'll choose a meat or a protein variation if you're like vegetarian or vegan. And then plan what you want to put with it around that. Or vice versa. Choose a carb source. So if you want to have potato, rice, pasta, wraps, whatever, and then choose your protein based around what you want to have as your carbs. So that also means then that it can make it somewhat easier to meal prep without tracking as well. So if you're choosing a protein source, so for example, if you're like, okay, I'm gonna do like beef mince. Okay, within beef mince, you can make bolognese, you can make tacos, you can make a cottage pie sauce, you can, you've got ideas. And then it means that you can alter or change whatever carbohydrate and then vegetables that you're putting with that, so that you're eating the same thing every day, but you're also not eating the same thing every day. So you can create variety if you're somebody who wants variety.
So it's kind of like the same macro split but different things in it, and you can just eyeball it and then go from there, and then you don't need to have to enter it into MyFitnessPal every damn day.
Exactly. Literally. Literally. Like you don't, and you'll have an idea, and then you know if you keep your snacks somewhat the same, it's the same process. It's the same thing. Like I'm usually really big on just like making taco mince of some form, because Mexican you can make anything. You can do nachos, a taco bowl, wraps, tacos. You can make like 4 or 5 different things off that one like meat or protein source that you've chosen and that you've prepped, and the rest is pretty much all done for you.
Yeah, right. So it's not as hard as I think it is.
Nah. People just don't like change. People don't like change.
I'm so lazy.
People don't like change, but it's also like, I think, again, when you're very busy in your work life, the last thing that you want to do is almost like look after yourself in your personal life. You know what I mean? Or like, because you're like, fuck this, I deal with this every day, like I can't be bothered, like whatever, I need easy and like convenience.
Yeah, but I think it's the thing now these days, and powerlifters used to have this like name that they were just fat and sloppy.
Yeah.
It's just not the truth anymore, eh? And the way that programs are set out, it's like, there's the up days and the down days, and you know, you can either think of it, you can think of it as a high energy or low energy day, whatever, but at the end of the day, it's just consistency through weeks.
Yeah.
So like, you know, going out a weekend on booze and then getting stronger, they just don't go hand in hand.
No.
Underfueling and getting stronger don't go hand in hand.
No. Like, you might like go out on the weekend and then like maybe hit a PR or have a really light weigh in the next day or like that week, but like 2 weeks time, you're gonna be like, I'm tired now. Like, it doesn't last. Like people, they don't understand that like an accumulative effect means like 1-2 weeks, potentially 3 weeks down the track.
Yeah.
Like it takes time, especially when you're doing it in like a smart way. Like you're not just going on like, if you're someone that's like weight class wise, like it's not going to take you a week to go up 3 kilos. Not even through a dirty bulk. Like that doesn't work like that.
No,
so
it doesn't.
It's accumulating it and like sticking to it.
Dirty bulk, yum.
Yeah, yeah. Just eat like 3,000 calories of like whatever you want. Chocolate ice cream. You know, that's actually one of the things, like anyone that's water loading this week, it's like when you kind of do a gut cut, or if you choose to do one towards the end of the week where it's like, what do I kind of eat? And you're just focusing on like high caloric dense foods.
Ice cream!
Yeah, I think I told Brody and he was like, yeah, this is sick. And I was like, nah, wait until it hits and then it probably won't be as good. But
yeah, definitely. So like, if you're gonna, I know we've been through this in previous podcasts, but we'll go through what you can eat before training.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone take ideas. I think I'm just gonna like put a like trigger warning out there, is that social media, everyone or anyone that's on social media, they're all doing these what I eat in a day and like giving you all these like posts and reels of everything that they eat, which is great for getting meal suggestions. It's just not great if you're someone that's gonna follow it. And
no,
like,
don't
be like,
follow
okay,
someone else's macro split, guys. That's like following a template program.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna have the same effect. I know. It's like I
want to look like that person, so I'm gonna do their macro split.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, next minute. Cool. So yeah, like pre-training would be. I'll go back to the timing. So if you're somebody who's like training at lunchtime, the goal would be to have had breakfast, have a snack, and then a pre-train as well. So pre-train can be anything that's light on the stomach. It's going to like not make you feel really heavy or tired. So you're gonna want quick, easy, like digest carbs. So like banana, cereal, pikelets, crumpets, toasted English muffin with like some spread on it, whatever you wish. But it mainly wants to be like this like carbohydrate-y sort of fueled like snack or like pre-train snack. During training can be, again, like whatever you choose. Powerade, lollies, you can have corn thins.
But hang on, but I'm going to say one thing. If you're going into training and you're getting fucking hungry during your sessions, you didn't eat 2 days ago. Okay, guys?
Yes.
You didn't eat enough 2 days ago.
You didn't eat enough 2 days ago, or you didn't eat enough 2 days ago, and you probably haven't eaten enough the day before and then the morning of either. So it's like you shouldn't be feeling hungry leading into a session. Like obviously life happens and things can play a role, but like if you're treating your nutrition like it has an accumulative effect, you should be coming in feeling fueled every session if you're staying consistent with it.
Sorry to cut you off there.
No,
that's just something that happens a lot.
Happens
a lot.
All the time. And then you get the people who try and eat a lot that day or during that session. And then I'm like, personally, I watch it happen sometimes in here, and I'm like,
my belt
I would throw up right now if I was eating that much before I had to deadlift or squat.
My belt didn't fit today.
I'm like, cool. So we kind of just stuffed our face now, and now it's not good. I mean, even for me on Monday, like, I knew it, like, my timing of my food was off in the morning working with clients. I had breakfast too late, and then I had my pre-train pretty much straight after it, and I was like, I'm gonna throw up on these set of 8s. Like,
you did?
I didn't. I felt it. I got a bit of a stitch, and I don't
stitch.
I'm like not even doing anything except squatting. So it's like it has an effect if you if you do lose your routine or you just eat things too close, so they'll try and like keep up with it. If you're based off what I was just saying before, where like lunchtime training versus if you're an evening trainer, so if you're somebody who has to work all day, you work 9 till 5, for you it'll be structuring your food better throughout the day. So you'll still want to prioritize that breakfast, that mid-morning snack, lunchtime, and then your afternoon snack might be the one that you'll want to push back or bulk up, or both, depending what time you can come in and train. And then it'll be a matter of having dinner after you train if you can, but having probably not as big of a dinner as somebody else who trains at lunchtime. So you're going to want more of your food during the day and then taper off, I guess, towards training so that we're not coming in feeling really heavy. And then having enough still just to fuel after before you go to bed.
Okay, cool.
So it's like structuring it as well as like depending on when you're someone that trains and what time you train at.
What do you say to the guys who come in and they're like, let's just say they're 105s and they're sitting at like 104.5 and they say every time I increase my calories, I put on 2 kilos and I don't know why.
It's usually not done correctly, and it's not going to be 2 kilos of like fat or 2 kilos of anything.
It's really hard to put on 2 kilos.
Yes, it's going to be like.
I mean, I could do it.
If we ate consistently and like we overeat consistently,
You're calling me fat.
Or like the extra treats when we go across to the IGA and it's like, get me chocolate, get me this.
Hey!
No, it'll be your body's, like everyone that is going up a weight class or where I'm working with them, if we're trying to sit above the weight class, I just optimize on it. It'll be just your body's adjustment period to the extra food. So it's just going to be water weight, like literally. So like glycogen or carbs, they hold water. So when we increase our carbohydrate intake, we naturally feel a little bit more full, I guess, or like fluffy to start with. It's not fat.
So those athletes who are weighing themselves daily, because you do, or every second day, and if you're going up and down, newsflash, it's salt.
It's
every time I have sushi on a Friday night, right?
It's sodium, far
out. Do you want to I feel so fat on Saturdays because of that sushi on Friday night. I'm like, man, I feel fat. And then of course I have a beer.
There you go. It all plays a part. I have a few clients recently who are like, should I be tracking sodium? And I'm like, yes.
It's so weird. And when you have a low sodium diet like I do, and then you go in and eat sodium, holy shit, I feel fat.
It's also probably why, like, post-competition, we've water loaded, we've water cut, we've cut sodium on that last day, everyone competes, and then Saturday night it's like, let's go out, and then it's like Sunday, you're bloated as fuck, because you just cut sodium, and now you probably put another 6,000 milligrams into your body. On the cold day alone, obviously, and then going out that night after.
This was me in Japan. It's just like ramen.
Chimon cheeks. So tracking sodium is a big thing. But scale number, everything has an effect. Did you go to the toilet or not? Are you weighing yourself at the same time? How much sleep did you get the night before?
Please stop worrying about your scale weight daily.
Look at it as a weekly average. A weekly average. So like, I could be weighing in at like 71.7 and then 71.3 and then 72.4, and then it's like, if you actually average that across the whole 7 days, like averagely it's going to be like 71.5.
So do you think some people should only get on the scales 3 times a week? And they kind of like integrate more as they get confident with it.
So that's usually one of the biggest things conversations that I'll have with a new client is I'll talk about like how they feel around that number. Have they had like any sort of past eating histories with it?
Which is normal.
Which is normal. Everyone has. There's it's noticing trends. So I notice trends in myself where there'll be some weeks where I'll only weigh myself 3 or 4 times, because if I wake up and I'm like, okay, I already feel anxious, you don't need to do it. It doesn't matter. Like we don't have to fixate on this number. We don't have to be like aware of it all the time. The only time that it really does matter is like, yes, obviously leading into a comp and in the week of competition, but we're humans outside of it. Like how you feel and like your mentality around it is more important than just weighing yourself so you have this data on a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So it's okay to take breaks from doing it.
100%.
And like everyone like understanding the process and understanding the variables that go into why that number fluctuates so much like will lead to having less of an emotional attachment to it.
Definitely.
We look at it as data. We don't look at it as like freaking out, because no one's walking around in the gym being like, oh, Shania's 75.5 today. Do you know what I mean? Or, oh, now she's 73.5. Like, no one looks at you and thinks that. No one's got no idea except you what number was on that scale.
So
that
stop
morning.
telling everybody.
Yes. Stop coming in and being like, yeah, I weigh really light today. Or like, yeah, I'm really heavy today. Like, no one's looking at you and thinking that, I promise you.
And I think like it's with the weighing and stuff, it's hard because it's kind of not normalized to have that number attached in your head.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
It's at the same time it is normal to have that number attached in your head. No one likes putting on weight.
No.
Like who likes getting fat? I don't.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, you know, it's normal. So it's okay to know what those. It's okay to understand that that might be a trigger. And it's okay to understand that, you know what I mean, that it's okay to have a break.
Yeah.
And you know, and I think a lot of like athletes and lifters don't acknowledge when they should take a break.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, we're humans. Like, we're not robots. We're not expected to just do something, rinse and repeat every single day, every single year. Like, you're allowed to have ebbs and flows. It's hard in today's society with social media, where we only see the highlight reels. Like, we only see what people want us to see. There's not a lot of truth or like realness on social media.
Yeah, there isn't. I'm telling you now, everyone pigs out.
Yeah, like everyone does. Everyone should. Like, it's life is way too short to like not.
Yes.
Life is way too short to like not. To one, either have anxiety around going out and eating and socializing, or two, like going on a holiday and not being able to put on a few kilos. Like, it's too short for that.
I used to freak out about that when I was younger.
Yeah.
I used to freak out and worry about how much weight I would put on when I'd go away and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't care now.
Yeah. Literally, like it doesn't. You're gonna go away on a holiday and someone's gonna be. I'm gonna be more mad that you're probably in Europe, fucking having summer in Europe, than like you coming back and being a few kilos heavier. Like it's all good, man. It's fine. Like enjoy it and like live it. Like it happens. But yeah, like you said, being aware of trends and behaviors and how your body responds to things. Is more important, and it's more beneficial for a coach, like from a coach's perspective, than for someone to tell me, oh, I just didn't weigh myself for a week. But it's like, okay, well, why? Yeah. Or if you did weigh yourself for the week and then you communicate that you didn't feel good doing that, but this is why, and you're aware of it, but you actually wanted to challenge yourself and you wanted to work on changing the thought processes and behaviors around it.
It's hard to do.
It is.
It's super hard to do.
But again, it's one of the biggest reasons why like having a coach is really good, because they're going to be there to offer the support that you need. That's one of the things that I've got a lot of clients, like my general population clients that I work with, that it's like them getting them to a point where we understand how we're reacting to certain things. What that then means in terms of our behaviors around it, whether we're avoiding it or whether we're ready to actually challenge it and move on from it, or if we're still in the middle, and then where do we go from there? Because I think like anything, training and nutrition, I guess like the goal or the outcome is like, that's just the end result. It's like how we get there is
different.
It's different.
Sounds
it's
like
not
programming.
Yeah, it's not linear. It's like athletes, like strength athletes, we go through ebbs and flows. Right, we hit PRs, we're doing really good in training. We don't hit PRs, we have a downward trend. It's the same thing with food. It's the exact same. So like treating it the same, or having the same approach and like the same like priority around it is the biggest thing.
Yeah, definitely. So like, how do you approach lifters who may fluctuate between, you know, weight classes, and do you have an approach that you would use with with someone who, you know, might be in a weight class but then sit a little bit too heavy consistently. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. If someone's sort of in between weight classes, so and they're sitting at a number that's in between it and that's really comfortable for them.
Yep.
So we've built up to this point, or they've come to me at this point, but they know that they feel really good. The goal is just to sit there.
Yeah.
Just to sit there and like, I did do a post on it, but like scale number doesn't equal body composition.
No.
And somebody can stay at the same weight for 5, 6, 7 years, and we literally just manipulate your body composition within that.
That's what Sam's done.
Yep, within that weight class if you're a powerlifter, or within that weight if you're just like a general population.
It is nuts how much muscle you can put on and stay at the same weight.
Yep.
Looking at him in particular,
Yep.
he's been 123, 124 for 2 years now, and he's massive.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah. Literally. It's people who tend to fluctuate or yo-yo between numbers, or yo-yo between I want to bulk, now I want to cut, now I want to bulk, now I want to cut, now I want to bulk, now I want to cut. It's like they're the athletes who see little results.
Yes.
Little results. Only because if you are sitting that little bit heavier, you have a lot to optimize on. Like you can come into like the likelihood of you coming into sessions feeling tired is less, and tired from a food perspective.
Yeah, and that's how you get stronger.
And that's how we get stronger. Yeah, that's
feeling less tired.
Yes, and having energy to push, having energy to train hard in your accessories. I don't give a fuck about SBD, but like your accessories, that's where we get strong.
Feeling tired and feeling fatigued, they're two different things. Feeling fatigued from training is good. Feeling tired is not as good if it's outside.
Yeah, no way.
Do you get what I'm saying with that?
Yes.
So like understanding why you're feeling tired is super important, and it's not always we're at the end of a block. It's not always that.
No.
You know, so understanding what real fatigue measures are and whether or not it's coming from your recovery are super important.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's one of the biggest things. And I think like obviously, if there's a little bit more detail behind why somebody is feeling the need to fluctuate between weight classes or like yo-yo between
hormones,
bulking or cutting, it's like having that conversation, and again, like you just work through it with somebody. It's like working through the mental game in powerlifting as a coach, like with the strength side of things. It's like it's the exact same with nutrition. Yeah. Because there's going to be a reason as to why, and everyone's got a reason as to why. Yeah. But it's just like working with them and working at their pace. Yes. So it's like, okay, cool, if we increase a little bit and then we sit here for the next 3 months, then we sit here for the next 3 months, and then we go from there. But I think a lot of people, like the weight classes in powerlifting or any sport that is weight class, I feel like can have a positive or a negative effect.
Yes. Especially if you sit between them and it's frustrating to get down. Yeah. You know, a lot of athletes some athletes might sit like 3 or 4 kilos heavier, and if they cut those 3 or 4 kilos, they get really weak. Yes. And some athletes can sit 3 or 4 kilos heavier and cut 3 or 4 and feel fine. Yeah. So it's understanding that individualization from a coach's perspective and from an athlete's perspective. It's not going to make you any weaker if you go up a weight class if your body wants you to do that.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah, and it doesn't matter if you're in a heavier weight class and you're on the lighter scale, or you're not even filling it out yet, because again, it's like anything, if you're in it for the long run, you're going to fill it out within a few years. It's not anything to, I guess, like be stressed about or worry about it, because especially if you're young and like you're a newer lifter, like you got time. Yeah, definitely. You don't have to be like cutting and making yourself feel worse because you think that's going to be more competitive.
It literally makes you feel, I see it all the time, it makes them feel worse. Yeah. Yeah. You know?
And understand what it is. Like, understand. I think we mentioned in the last one is like going down that weight class is like if you're constantly cramping or feeling like shit, like they're the biggest signs, cramping. Like you shouldn't cramp if you're in the right weight class.
Feeling like shit too early in a peak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to feel shit 2 weeks out. It's not good to feel shit 6 weeks out.
No, not at all.
Like shit, like I'm not sleeping 6 weeks out. Okay, alright, well I think we'll wrap it up. We didn't go over eating out. Do you want to go over that quickly?
Yeah, we can go over it quickly if you want.
I mean, sometimes you just don't know what to eat.
Yeah, I think it's very similar to what I said at the start of this podcast around eating intuitively and not wanting to track and macro is when you're eating out socially, one, like, understand, like, you're eating out socially, you're out with friends, like, have fun, enjoy life to start with. That's the first thing I always say to people.
Yeah.
But again, if you're eating out socially and you might be at a certain stage in your prep or within a competition prep that you're like, okay, no, I do need to be a little bit smarter about my choices. Plan what you're eating around, like, either a protein source or something that is, like, going to be somewhat clean or something that you can eyeball and track. So it's like, if you're going out, like tavern or whatever, my first option is a steak. You're going to know roughly how many grams it is. Every menu says you can choose to have, like, the potato and veg option or salad and chips and just, like, roughly track what you need to track it. Burgers are really easy to track, eyeball it. The biggest thing I tell people is just take into account that anything that you eat out is cooked in oil or butter. So it's sodium. Sodium and really high in fat. So most of the times you will go over your fat, but again, it's life. It's one time, one like meal or one like cheat snack. I hate that word, but like people refer to it as like good or bad. It's not going to ruin your progress. So enjoy it. But they're the top tips. It's just like, pick something that you can eyeball, something that you're obviously going to enjoy as well, and just take into account that it's going to be higher in sodium and higher in fat.
And if you get attached to the scale weight, just don't weigh yourself the next day. Just don't.
Take a big shit.
You said you weren't going to swear. You just
like twice. Take a big poo and then weigh yourself and you'll be fine.
Alright, thanks for listening.